Okay, it's about 8:35 and it is Friday, February the 5th. Yeah, I know it sounds funny saying that, but this is it. Friday the 5th, week 6 lecture. Of course, you know, week 6 officially doesn't start until Monday, but the reason is because, as you already know, the course ends on Tuesday, the 9th. So I would normally do your lecture on that Tuesday, and that would be the last day of class, so we're not going to go there. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about week 6 material only. So good to see you again in class, Sarah. Hope everything's going well. Okay, I don't like the way that sits. I got to change that. Bear with me a minute. I don't know how that happened. That's supposed to be, there it belongs there. Over there with the others. Okay, now it should be fixed. Yep. Okay, so you can see that week 6 lecture, as advertised previously early on in the course, the first week, is today, Friday the 5th. And that week 6 lecture recording will be there tonight for those who are not able to make it. So let's take a look at the course calendar for the very last time. And you can see that today is the 5th. And that, remember, we're not talking about this or either this, but we're starting with this. So your assignment is dealing with media technology and the courts. Okay. Why is it 2 now? Okay, there we go. And then your assignments are due the 9th. Reminder that the course ends. Absolutely, if you look at the course calendar, and you're going to see it in the announcement, your written assignment, justice. I hope they fixed the link. The link was broken, but I tried to reach out to them. They said they fixed it. I'm going to see tonight just to make sure. Then your initial post on constitutional rights and your reply post on constitutional rights are both due. So that's it. The course ends there, not the 10th, not the 11th, 12th, 13th, and not the 14th. All right, but you guys already know that. All right, and anybody who doesn't know it should know it because I cover it every week. So let's take a look at the course home page. Here we go. In the 6th week, media and the criminal justice system, media technology and the courts, open justice or open season, developments in judicial engagement with news media, and reality TV and the criminal justice system. We're going to talk about that. Constitutional rights, the discussion post, and then your written assignment, justice. And there's a big reminder that all written assignments are due by, see, in bold letters, capital letters, and highlighted. And then reminder again, you can't miss it, that it ends officially ends Sunday, February 9th. That's not true. It's actually, there's no Sunday, February 9th. That was a mistake. It ends actually Tuesday, February 9th. So I want to fix that. I don't like stuff like that. I have to edit it. Give me a minute. Where's my week 6 announcement? There we go. This is how we do it. You guys didn't know this. You guys can't do this. Only us faculty. All right. So oh, here we go. Let's correct that. Okay, it should be corrected now. And it should be like that when I go back to the course home. And if it's not, then I'll have to refresh it. Nope. So here's what I have to do. I have to refresh it. When I refresh it, it'll be corrected then. Still not there. Oh, I know. Duh. Professor Wright, you have to do this. And then come back to courses. Then come back to this. And if it's not corrected now, it's something wrong. Oh, why doesn't it end? Anyway, I don't know why it's not correcting itself. That's terrible. I don't like that. I don't like things not right. One more time. One more time. It says Tuesday there, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, now let's see if it's right. Still there. I don't know what's going on here. One of my students told me one time something I had to do, but I think I did it already. Let's go back to the home and let's see if that corrects it. Let's go back to Blackboard Learn. Okay, there's my courses. This is realities. I don't know. I'll deal with that later. Anyway, it is not Sunday. Officially ends Tuesday. It does? It shows correct for you? Okay. I wonder why does it show? So you can't see it as Tuesday in a Sunday anymore? Oh, wow. I don't know. It might have something to do with my view, but anyway, whatever. So it is not Sunday, it is Tuesday. And take time to do the end of quarter evaluations as well. And then you already know about my motto. You know well about it. Yeah, you've kind of had to deal with some of that kind of stuff this quarter. So I know, but it's all going to work out well. Adversity should strengthen you and not weaken you. That's the way I try to believe. Let's look at the module. The assignments, justice, justice delayed. Now you're supposed to read this article. Now, this link wasn't working right. Let me see if because I put in a ticket for them to correct it. And it should be working now. Let's see. It's still not working. Okay. I got to call PSC afterwards. Were you able to click on this and get this? Did it open for you? Check. Let me know. Because then I'm going to be calling PSC as soon as I hang up. Uh, does it open? Does it open for you? Oh, it does open? So you can see the article, Justice Delayed? Read the article entitled Miscarriages of Justice. That's what it is now? That's what it says in there? You see mine says Justice Delayed, don't you? Okay. Okay. I don't know. They're kind of wacky. So anyway, whatever the you know what? That's true. Let me clear this. Maybe I can do that. Let me see. I'm trying to remember how to clear my cache. Options. I think. Uh, I thought I could do it here. Oh, you use Control Alt Delete. Okay. Control Alt Shift. Right. Yeah. That's okay. All right. I know what you were trying to. Okay. Let's go back to that. Okay, so just do Control Alt Delete. Uh, okay. Okay, let's go to the week 6 assignments. I wonder. I don't know. Let me see something a minute. See if it lets me do it. I'm going to enter student preview and see what it shows me. Because I now have student preview. Okay, let me see. Oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Module 6. My student preview still says justice delayed. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I got to exit this. I still got to call them and find out why mine says it, but the main thing is that you guys are able to get the assignment in. So it's kind of wacky. This might have something to do with what they're doing. They're changing things around. So anyway, it's a 1 to 2 page paper that addresses the following issues. Provide a brief synopsis of the case study, include the issue and the results, explain how the media coverage of the case affected the outcome, discuss whether public's right to know superseded the right to the victim's or defendant's privacy, and explain whether you feel the outcome of the case would be different if there was no media coverage and why. Ensure that your paper is APA, and you know what that means, and make sure that you check for spelling and grammar errors, and then of course run your papers through Grammarly, because it's very important so that you don't get caught with a Grammarly hit. Here is the rubric, and it tells you the same things, but you get 35 points for doing the first part, 25 for the second part, 25 for the third, and then 5 points for the last part. Okay, and then your usual 1 to 2 page minimum, make sure it's 1 page at least, and APA setup. Do you have any questions? I don't think so. No questions? Okay. I had a question, but it's not for you. It's for I don't get what they're anyway. What the heck? So discussion of constitutional rights. So then the news media, it says, by means of the internet and other technologies, helped or hindered the protection of our constitutional rights. That's a question. Give an example of your findings and present it in class. So it's I think one of the main things that, because Constitution, First Amendment rights give media, freedom of the press, but also the freedom of the press should operate on the basis of responsible press. They need to do fact checking before putting stuff out there. Like, for example, promoting conspiracy theories, that's not fact. And due diligence, to have things that support your position, and recognizing that. And I think that should apply whether it's political, as we're running across the problem currently as I speak in this country, with what's happening to people who are Republicans. People are defecting from the party like mad because, in the words of one person, they call them the Retrumplicans, or either the Q-Trumplicans. So the bottom line is that you know what that's all about. That's all about stuff that is based upon fiction and not fact. Like, for example, that Santa Claus really does exist. But that is accurate, what I just said. So the media has a responsibility And we talked about this already. We talked about this earlier in the week. They have a responsibility to provide accurate stuff. And like I said, somebody said, you're being political. I'm not. I'm not. One of the things that I try to tell people, that a good lawyer, because somebody says, what's a good profession to be in and be a good liar? And somebody jokingly said, it's lawyers. I said, that's not true. Depends on what kind of lawyer you're talking about. If you're talking about a good lawyer doesn't operate on things that are not true. A good lawyer operates on facts and is able to substantiate their arguments using fact and not fiction. And so I'm saying that I think that our media should be held to that same standard. Don't you agree? Yes. I mean, you know, if you were said no, and then you explain why not. I always tell my students, you don't have to agree with me. Just show me why you don't agree with me and give me something to substantiate your positions, you know. So and that's the real deal here. That's why you can't go into court with fiction and it's here to let the judge, unless there's a fix in something that improper is going on. So anyway, deal with the media coverage of the internet and other technologies and how they've helped or hindered. And I think, again, technology is good. It's just like there's a lot of people I know. Uh, you have to watch. Like I was listening to someone talk about Facebook uh, as one of the technological things, and they say they use the term, and I always mess it up. Algorithms. You know what I'm talking about when I say algorithms? Yeah. So algorithms is a theory that's based on the fact that what things you view, they're able to let you see more of that, or the things that you click like on, put it like that, or love on, your emotions, those kind of things. Things that you don't like, then you don't see as much of that, but you see more of what you like. So if you say bad things, that you like bad things, um, such as um, um, that green lady that lost her seats because she liked a post that said uh, promoted killing and shooting Nancy Pelosi in the head. If you do those kind of things, and I was also looking at a feature about how people become QAnon believers, and there were so many people who became QAnon believers or followers because uh, they started looking at a little bit of information, and then they started trusting some of their friends who they didn't know were, and was telling them, and they believed what they said, and so they found themselves deep into getting those theories. Well, I'm using that as an example because those are the kinds of things that create problems when the media is promoting those types of organizations instead of not reporting on them. No, there should be stories done that uncover and explain how dangerous that those are to our actual constitutional rights. You know, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If your pursuit of happiness is unconstitutional, then you got a problem. Racism is unconstitutional because of the fact that it says that you can discriminate, and the Constitution says you cannot discriminate on of anyone on the basis of race, religion, sex, or national origin. You know, so whether you are believe in LGBT or not, you know, somebody asked me, should law enforcement officers, should LGBT people become law enforcement officers? I says, well, only if they don't have red blood when you cut them. That's that's it. That's the standard. So, but, I'm known throughout this college, and the college is known. That's why we talk about diversity, guys, but anyway. All right. I don't think I have any students that go off on that kind of stuff. I did have one that kind of didn't like the fact that they said I talked about being African American too much. I said, well, if you see me, yeah, if you see me, then you could probably, if you don't look at if I don't put my camera out there, well, you can probably tell also by the way I speak. Sometimes my wife says I can speak that I don't sound African American. I says, get out of here. All you're simply saying is I'm not speaking proper grammar, but she messes with me. She's been married 27 years, so she gets that. Okay, so you got that one there. But seriously, this is not off the beat on dealing with constitutional rights. It's very important. And that's why we talk about the mindset. Oh man, guys, worst thing in the world to me is a person who is a racist with a gun. I mean, that is, whew. And the only thing that's next to that that's horrible is a person who is a abuser of women, or either or that operates in hate crimes, those kinds of things. So, all right, Professor Wright, let's get on and move on. So anyway, live classroom lecture, key phrase. We'll get you that in a little bit. So let's take a look at, yeah, well, thank you. A lot of my students say that. They even say it in the commentary when they do value, when they grade me or evaluate them. And he said, I'm one professor who's very open-minded and fair. And I believe in that. I believe that everybody should have their say, but it's not my way or the highway. So, but anyway, the point of the matter is uh, as my professor in law school would tell me, okay, Wright, you made your statement, now support it. And if you say, well, I just feel, as soon as you say that, the floor falls from up on you. If it was a trap door that the professor had, they would pull it. You said, then that'd be a lesson to all the rest of your students in this class. Don't talk about you feel. It's not about what you feel. Go into court. Say, Your Honor, it's my feeling. Judge says, I'm happy to hear that, Mr. Wright, but I'm not ruling on your feelings, sir. I'm ruling on your facts, yeah, yeah. So unless there's some idiotic judges, there are some of them too. So anyway, let's take a look at these this right quick here, dealing with the changing. Yeah, it does take all kinds. That's the part about America. At least we don't execute people like that. We just try to keep them straight. I have no use at all for anyone who doesn't like a person because of their race. I don't like guys who disrespect women. I can't stand them. I really can't. And you know why? Your namesake, my mom, would she probably wouldn't be here now. Well, she was born in 1925, so she could have still been here, but for uh, the stabbing and all of that and killing, and then my dad, same thing. But then again, as I try to tell people, speaking of life, and this is something for all you guys to always remember, uh, always look at the hand that you're dealt and make the best of what you are dealt with. It's like my grandmother used to say, son, when you got some lemons, it's time to make some lemonade. And that's what you do. You might have lemons and they're bitter, but then put a little honey mixed in with that, stir it together, and you can tolerate it. So the point of the matter is keep on keeping a clear mind. All right. like Superman used to say, the old Superman thing he used to say every week when I was a little boy. I don't know if you remember the original Superman, George Reeves, on TV, where he stand on top of the world with his cape flying, and he says, "Truth, justice, and the American way." And so, anyway, the media says the role of the media has changed dramatically. Well, one of the reasons why is because of the advent of the internet. So the media was different when I came out of law school, which was 1978, because there was no internet. I've often said this to my students that I never had problems with my internet when I was in college or law school. They said, "Really, professor? What kind did you have?" Well, I didn't have any. It wasn't invented until after I was out of law school in 78. It came in the 80s. And when it came early, it was, one of the first things as far as internet and email. You remember the infamous phrase, "You've got mail." You know who made that famous, right? The very first company. What, you know who that is? AOL, which stands for America Online. And they even made a movie about that as well. But so before we had that, uh, yeah, Megan Ryan, yep, yeah, Meg Ryan. And so um, before we had those things, we had a different way of life. Like, for example, I had to go to the library. I had to read these things called books. I mean, we still have them around now, but now we got Kindle books. We got um, digital books like we have in this school, which is good. I mean, it's ecologically sound. Some people still don't like them. I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm learning to appreciate more and more that. But also with the internet, you're able to get news quicker and faster. I look at TV and I see the news. Then I could go to my internet and it plays back on my phone or my Android pad, because I don't do iPads, but some people call them iPads, but they're not there if they're Android based. But you know what I mean. And so with the onset of the internet and social media, um, you get the news quick, fast, and in a hurry, kind of like the old way of cooking. You know, I survived when I was in between marriages, um, because I went to the store and I bought everything that said it was microwavable because I don't cook. Oh God. So anyway, but I like home cooked food, not microwavable food all the time. I don't like, excuse me, I don't like that instant popcorn in a bag. I like the old one where you put it in with the oil and you shake it, you know. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Yes, I remember those. Yeah, like they're gone. No, we can still get them. I go to get Orville Redenbacher from Walmart, and my wife fixes it, and she shakes it on the stove. Oh, I still love it. It's the best. Anyway, the point of the matter is that we have become spoiled by technology. Yeah, and and actually, people have instantaneously changed their situations. Technology has made grading easier for me in the sense that you could take a quiz and then they have a program built in that says the answer that they design, and it gives it to you right away. Not you, but it gives it to me. And if there's a button I can hit that I can let you see it, but they don't want me to do that because what would happen is that all of a sudden there would be some unscrupulous people, dare I say, that would take that and use that because we teach the same courses over. And so people would have that and says, "Oh, I got the answers already." We don't do that. So anyway, we want to keep integrity in our teaching. Social media allows the public to join in the news dissemination process, as you can post your own update statuses in real time about newsworthy events. Like Facebook Live is another good example. So, and look at what LexisNexis says, which is a system. Um, let's see, you said something. Let me see, I want to get what you said. Oh, you said you haven't had any like in years, so that now you want some. Well, eat some for me because I can't eat anymore. I'm on this intermittent fast, which means I can only eat this week from 1 o'clock. I mean, from 6 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m., which is better than last week. It was 6 o'clock to 10 a.m. And so, but I'm getting smaller. Okay, I'm shrinking. So, so back to the point here. LexisNexis says in a study that 67% believe social media solves crime. It does if used properly. Um, and that even with social media and then dealing with technology, like for example, we talked about this the other day. I think we talked about it in this class, DNA. Didn't we talk about DNA the other day? Okay, I talked about DNA in the other class, contemporary issues in criminal justice. And DNA is a revolutionary tool that has helped solve many crimes. And so that's using technology. But 67% believe social media helps solve crimes more quickly. And 87% of the time, search warrants using social media to establish probable cause hold up in court. And that makes sense because you know what happens. Here's what happens, and I take a seminar. Usually, I haven't taken it this year. I didn't take it last year because of COVID-19, and probably won't be doing it this year either. But the reason in that particular course, they're able to have companies that come in and talk to us, and it's sponsored by the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, and there are law enforcement officers and agencies from all over the country that come to this. They show us how on the internet people use things to brag about what they do, like for example, selling drugs, selling guns. There are even people who post crimes that they committed in a roundabout way. And, like, okay, look at what happened with these people that committed the crime of the insurrection on the 6th of January. They were making videos showing, yes, I'm in here. Yes, I'm up here in Nancy Pelosi's chair. Yes, I'm here doing this. Yes, I'm here doing that. And they were, wearing them like badges of honor. They were admitting stuff. And so if, for example, you went ahead and got the information and found out who they were and got a search warrant because of that, using that before a judge as the basis for probable cause, you could go to their homes and you find caches of weapons and guns and things like that. That has happened. So social media is used because did you not know that and that if you lose your location on your phone. I always use my location on my phone. I use it a whole lot. And then you have to use your location almost anything. If you're going to use MapQuest, you got to use your location because well, you don't. Well, you would to get accurate readings, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're searching for what's the closest Walmart, for example, what's the closest Walgreens, what's the closest this or that you mentioned, um, you would then need to be able to give your zip code and that kind of stuff to be able to find those things. But that's because it's based on location. And it's even so down to the point that this same company uh, demonstrated to us how this lady who was selling drugs out of her car, they saw that, and the location was here in Illinois, in Aurora. Sarah, what state are you in? You're not in Illinois, are you? Are you in Illinois? Florida. Okay, that's right. Yeah, we had this discussion the other day. But in Illinois, if there's a place called Aurora, it's near where I live. And anyway, because of location, and they were able to utilize that. Oh, okay. So you lived in Illinois? Did you say you lived in Illinois before? Oh, outside St. Louis. Oh, so you lived in Illinois right across the river. You lived near East St. Louis, or what town were you in down there? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know Belleville. Absolutely. I always get that mixed up with Bellwood. There's a Bellwood up here that's near Maywood, Illinois, near Chicago. But anyway, so yeah. So my point being is that so there's a town called Aurora, a big city called Aurora in Illinois that's near where I live. And the lady was dealing drugs out of her car in Aurora, and they tracked it, and they found out that she was in the parking lot of the police department doing it. But the funny part about it, they figured it out, and they went down, and they asked her to get out of the car, and she got out of the car, and they asked uh, could they have a search warrant? Could they search her car? She said no. They said okay. They said all right, and they quickly dispatched right there on the scene using what they had seen her doing in that car moments before they went down there, sent it to a magistrate. A warrant was quickly issued, and they were able to check the trunk of the car, and she had a cash. She had a whole bunch of marijuana in there, not rolled. She had blocks of it. So she was a big time dealer, and so she obviously spent some time. But the point of the matter is that the search warrant came fast because and the probable cause was established by social media. Close to 50% of respondents use social media at least weekly. Yeah, do you use social media? Which one? Facebook? Use Facebook? All of them. Are you my friend on Facebook? Are you kidding? All the time you've been in my classes, you haven't been my friend on Facebook? You could go to Richard Wright, JD, and you'll see. I got a lot of your classmates, colleagues, and former students who who I help. In fact, one young man in Florida, he's in Tampa. Um, so you sent the request. Okay, it shows you how quickly we can do this. I got this phone right here, and it says SA. This party, I just confirmed it. It says you are now friends. Okay. Now I know how you look. I know who you look like. You look like your parents, right? Okay. Oh wow, you got a dog. Is this your dog? Oh wow. When you look at my page, you'll see my golden doodle. You know what a golden doodle is, right? It's in the same family as what is this one called? It's a poodle. It's a giant poodle, but what's it called? He's a standard poodle. Okay. And mine is a boy also. How old is it? Is it Jenny? Wait a minute, it disappeared. Wait a minute. Is it Jenny? Gunny. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. Oh, yeah. Once I zoom in on it, I see it. Yeah, looks like my Milky Way, except Milky Way is white, and he's a golden doodle, and you'll see that on uh, your social media. But anyway, the point of the matter is, it's very valuable. Many of my students reach out to me through that. Of course, though, I tell them, please do not. I don't use Messenger. Messenger gets hacked all the time. Did you not know that? That's where there are people who can get your information, and they'll use that and create a profile and send somebody something saying that you're in need of money and so forth and so on, and send it to such and such a thing. That's stuff that happens a lot in Messenger. So I don't use that. So I just tell my people, just text me. All my students have my cell phone number, so I tell them, please keep it even after class, because you can always reach me later. Oops, get that thing out of here. I don't want that in there. So I hit a key. So then only 10% of respondents learned how to use social media investigations through formal training given at agency. I'm one of those people that what happened to my video? Can you see my video? You can see me, right? Just my screen. Okay, I don't know what happened to my video. I think I hit something because I'm supposed to, oh, duh, it stopped it. There we go, it's back. So what I was going to say is that um, I didn't have any training for using even the computer. In 1999, that's when I started learning how to use the computer. And now I'm very proficient at using it. But the point of the matter is, I didn't take any classes or nothing. I just listened to people who told me how to do it. And so I did. Did you learn how to use social media through any formal training? No, you just start doing it, right? That's what, you know, excuse me, I explained to my wife, MySpace. So I don't use MySpace, but I know what you're talking about. Just like I don't use Instagram. There's a lot of people who have Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I have LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn I use for business, but a lot of people, and I find my students through LinkedIn, or they find me through LinkedIn as well. I have a few students who went on to become paralegals after having been in some of my classes. But anyway, the lack of access and familiarity are primary reasons for non-use. 70% are either unable to access social media during work hours. Ha! Ha! I laugh at that now. Or don't have enough background to use it. But social media is just here, and it's a good tool, but it's all about how responsibly you are in terms of using it. So media influences our perceptions, as I was sharing earlier about that issue about QAnon. There are people who believe just because they saw it on social media or Facebook that it is what it is. That there are even things that I see in there that you have to read carefully. It'll have some newspaper name, but we know this is a fictitious newspaper. And what I do is I'll Google the newspaper, and it says, oh, or either here's another good one. Here's another good one. If you want to check to see if something is true or not true, what's the name of that system that you use to tell whether or not something is true or not? I've forgotten. You know what I'm talking about, and yeah, me too. I forgot what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. That you can fact check, and they'll tell you whether such and such a person did this or said that or so forth and so on. But oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Uh, Snopes. There you go. Yeah, Snopes. And so Snopes.com is a tool that you can use. You know. So, But like for example, you could do on Snopes.com, you can see is QAnon is Q a real person? And it'll tell you the answer is no. Q is not. Hey, you know what? This is funny. I actually met a student through another faculty member who's at one of our at the Romeoville campus, and his name, his first name is Q. I was saying what? And but he spells it Q-U-E, and that's not short for his name. That is his name. So I said, "Oh wow, that's a interesting name to have right now," you know. But yeah, so you could go in, you can put the letter, and you know what they say. They hear all these little things. You see 17, and then they say, "Oh, that's the 17th letter of the alphabet." You know, 2017, something happened. Oh, the Q, just like, just like we know what happened with 911. So 911 to us before September the 11th of 2001 meant emergency, right? And so it was designed to use that kind of stuff. So we use all those kinds of things. But anyway, uh, social media is very important. And it is a tool that you'll use in employment, no matter what discipline you're in, but we use it quite frequently as lawyers now. So then it says if media has such influence on people's perceptions, how can criminal justice professionals maintain a fair environment to determine the truth or guilt or innocence of a defendant without the jury pool being tainted by the opinions of the media? Well, it's just like anything else. Uh, like I said again, going back to the story of how people started to believe in QAnon and how they were innocent people. They weren't bad people. They just were gullible, and they got so. And then you know what else, Sarah, and the rest of you guys, that has happened is that because we've been uh, sheltered in place, there's an aspect. We're not naturally individuals who are homebody. Most of us aren't. I mean, even if we are, we still go out. But when you get to the point where they close down restaurants and then movies, sure, you can see everything. Now, notice now when movies are coming out, they put them on HBO Cinemax, or they put them on some kind of social media, or some internet app or something that you can see it now. But I like nothing better than going to the show. I love going to the show. And, my wife and I, we enjoy our time. We leave the monsters at home. Um, my kids are not down here, so they can't hear me saying that. But, but anyway, they said, "You called me a monster." I said, when you have kids, you'll know why I said that." But anyway, you made us. I said, "Okay, all right. Guilty." Okay. But you know what I'm talking about is that we are not, you know, I used to tell all my clients that end up with home confinement. So guess what? Not all of us are under home confinement. I work from home. I very rarely go out. I go out once or twice a week. You know, I look out the window. And now, because of the way things are, I'm even afraid to do that much. But I guess what? Hey, I got a whole case coming, and it'll be here, I think, Monday, of N95 masks, because I heard what they said. They're even advocating wearing two masks now. But here's what I'm saying. Media coverage let us know about the pandemic, let us know how it's going. And then there are some people who, because of their the media that they look at is not based on fact, and they dismiss science, like believing that you can shoot some disinfectant into your body and it will kill coronavirus. It sure will. And you too, right along with it, okay? Or you'll be a corpse with coronavirus. So So you know what I'm talking about. We have to think in terms of that. I teach my daughters. I said, just because a guy says something, that don't mean it's true. Come ask dad. Dad's a guy. I was a young fella before I went through dating and courting and all that kind of stuff, you know. Uh, yeah, that's right. Um, my wife won't let me date anymore, no. So unless it's her, I'm happy at that about that. I don't need all those personalities to have to deal with. I have enough dealing with my daughters and my sisters, so granddaughters. So the positive influence of the social media outweigh the negative. Do you agree with that? Yeah, it's just like anything that one of the problems I have, and I'm a I mean, I appreciate the Constitution totally, but I'm against the Second Amendment and individuals having guns under many situations because of the statement that many people say it's not guns that kill people, it's people with guns. I said, well, cars don't cause accidents, it's people who drive cars that cause accidents. So what does it boil back down to? It's still the people. And so you have to be responsible with those kind of things. And I don't have a gun in my house. I don't want a gun in my house. Yeah, don't get me started on that one. That's a week 7 lecture about automatic or semi-automatic weapons, you know. Um, I mean, I hear that you can use guns for hunting, but what are you hunting with an automatic or semi-automatic? Did you know that it is illegal to hunt animals with a semi-automatic weapon? Did you know that? It is illegal. Yet, what's interesting is that uh, semi-automatics are used in terms of dealing with people all the time. So, but anyway, I'm having so much fun here. I'm keeping you a little longer. I'm gonna end in a minute. I'm gonna be like that dude on that commercial on the TV that talks about AARP, and he used to be a weatherman. And have you seen that commercial where he says it's a sunny day, and then his wife says, "You're doing it again." Oh, I'll stop. I'll stop. Have you seen that commercial? Yeah, I love that commercial. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. That's just like me. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. And my wife says, "Am I on the stand right now?" I says, "Well, you're not under oath right now, and you're not committing perjury. But if you're not telling the truth, you're just lying." And she says she'll throw something at me, not something to hurt me, but mess with me. But anyway, so the positive influence does outweigh it, and social media is definitely here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It makes it possible, just like I talk about the O.J. Simpson case. We talked about that in this class, and that it was cool because the case all the way in California, I was able to sit in my living room and watch it with my technology of the ancient VHS recorder. He says, "What kind of recorder is that?" Okay. But, when you were a little girl, there was VHSs, right? Okay. You had one. Yeah. But the point of the matter is, it's just like set a recording time and all that timer and stuff. Just like my first cell phone, I looked like the Maxwell Smart. You ever see the show Get Smart? Yeah. You remember that big old phone? Hey, Chief, I had one of those in my car, and you had this thing anchored in your car. They had to drill holes in it, all kinds of stuff. Now, and then the phones start getting smaller and better, So, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, uh, news media and social media are good, and so we think about the role that it plays in our life. And so finally, in the end, Many individuals are captivated by crime in our criminal justice system. I had one of my friends years ago, and he passed away before social media, and he used to love to study mobsters. And he would have, oh, this guy would have, he would have been one of these guys who wrote books and speaking about mob families. But when social media came about, it made it easier to find out about all those different kind of things. And, because now you have the wiretapping, and you have this thing called RICO, which is not a person, even though I know I have a friend who was an FBI agent who grew up with me. His name is Rico. But racketeer, uh, organized crime act or something, investigation, organized crime, or something like that. But it's an acronym. And so we use law enforcement, lawyers, and we do all kinds of things with it. We have these reality shows now that come on that, you can see and learn all kinds of things like solving real crimes that exist. And you have shows like, um, uh, what was the name of that show? America's Most Wanted. Then you have reporters like we talked about. We did talk about Nancy Grace the other day, right? People like that that have a career because of social media. So um, says some media portray the police in a negative way and some in a positive way. Duh, that's like anything else. Again, a tool is only as good as how you use it. Okay. Um, for example, you can use a toaster to cook toast. But if you have a toaster plugged into a bathroom and it falls into a tub and you're in it, it can be used to destroy somebody. I saw a movie about somebody who, um, one of Tyler Perry movies, where the guy, uh, boyfriend raped the woman's daughter, and Kimberly Elise was in this movie, and I can't remember the name of it, but she she found out that her daughter was telling the truth, and she went in and was talking to him, and she had something electric, radio or something, and dropped it down in there. And he got, So what I'm trying to say is that those things are good, but if you use them the wrong way. So the police depend on the media to get valuable information, and and I know that the project that you guys did in this course, utilizing the public information officer and the news media, gave you a taste of what we're talking about. So anyway, that's it. That's it for 6 weeks. That's it for the course. And any questions? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a phrase. You want to take a shot at it? Pick a phrase. What do you think is a good one? See what you come up with. You don't know because I had a lot of them here. How about social media? How about that? Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, you got it. All right. So I know somebody's going to say, Professor, I didn't get the key phrase that you said would be to get my points, but I heard you say to a student social media, and you said that's it. I say, duh. Or either as we do this, like, I'm going to come into your living room or your room, wherever you are looking at this, and like, I keep coming and my head gets bigger and bigger. My wife says that to me all the time. So anyway, I love to have fun, you know that. But learning should be fun also. and that we should be able to laugh, especially in the circumstances that we oftentimes find ourselves in. And laughter for me is really a key thing to deal with what I've had to deal with in the last week or so. You know about what happened with my one of my siblings. Um, but you know, we cry and we laugh. And then I remember what they said, what happens when water comes out and it rains and then the sun comes out, there's a rainbow. And we say, oh, look at the rainbow, you know, but you have to have, you know, you have to have some tears, I think, as I tell people, to be able to release. It's a form of release, you know. Real men cry. I don't care if somebody says, oh, that's coming up when I was a kid. Oh, you're a sissy, you're crying, you know. No, no, there's some serial killers. If they learned how to cry, they probably wouldn't have become serial killers, you know, on the real side, you know. So anyway, it's been a very, very, very enjoyable stretch teaching you guys this course. I look forward to seeing you, many of you. You know what you're taking next term? Yeah. What are you taking? Do you know? I mean, you do know, but I know one thing that you're not taking anything that I'm teaching. I can be sure of that because Um, I'm teaching, and I could say this even before you tell me, is that I'm teaching Introduction to Criminal Law. Check, you did that with me. Oh, okay. Oh, that's going to be cool. Research methods in criminal justice. That's that's, and you know what? You should, if you pay attention to this, uh, you will. Let's go back to the class a minute. I want to show you something. Uh, this will be something that'll be beneficial to you to remember for that. Um, Things like this: analytical tips for criminal justice students, going beyond the textbook, uh, information literacy, references. All of those are going to fit into the scheme of what you deal with there. So, yeah. So you're gonna you're already prime time for that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Download and save them. You'll say, oh, how did you get that information? How come all the people that said that they had Professor Wright got it? But you know, those kind of things. But no, and the other course I'm teaching, you had too, drugs and crime. You had that with me too, didn't you? You haven't had that yet? Oh, then you'll see me then somewhere down the road for that. Uh, that'll be taught again, probably by me in the spring in term two. Sometimes they trick me and make it term one, but you know, drugs and crime, J355, you'll want to take that course. That's a very exciting course because it's very beneficial to criminal justice professionals, and the way that I teach it kind of helps you to understand that we have more of a role than to lock people up. If you're law enforcement, corrections, you have more to do. Well, if you've taken my corrections course, Introduction to Corrections, I don't know if you had it when it was 11 weeks, I think, but now they have a new course and it's even better yet. So, well, I'm going to say good night. Have a well, I can't say have a good. Oh yeah, psychology. Hey, that's very valuable in being a police officer, a probation officer, a lawyer, a parent, a spouse. Yeah, for sure. My oldest daughter is a clinical psychologist. I have to land her down because she got a master's in psychology, and she thinks that she knows more than me. I said, baby, before you could even spell the word psychology, PSY part, You know, so yeah. But you use that. Psychology is life, uh, understanding the id, the ego, uh, uh, Pavlov's dog. You remember that? You know, they should call it Pavlov's person now because people act like that. We no longer use mice for these things. We use real people who become subjects. You know, put them under a spotlight and see what happens. You know, so all right. I'm gonna say good night to you. I gotta. Yeah, that's true. That's why the Bible says, and people make a mistake and say this. They say that that money is the root of all evil. I said that is not what the Bible says. Money is like gasoline in a car. If you drive your car to commit a crime, that's bad. But what it does is that it will bring out your corruption if your true self is corrupt. Um, but the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And what that simply means is that you'll do anything for what you love and those kind of things. If you have a corrupt mind, you're going to do bad things. You don't care who you hurt. You become very self-centered and selfish. Rather than to go to work and earn money, you'll go rob somebody. You know, rather than go buy a car, you'll jack a car. Those kinds of things. So, yep, yep, that's true. So I learned it a long time ago. I tell people, I says, I make a good living, but I tell people I work for mine the hard way. I did it like John Houseman said in the Smith Barney commercials, the old fashioned way. I learned it. No, he said earned it, but I learned it. And that's how I did it through my education. So good night and stay safe. And I'll see you down the road. And again, now you can check me out on Facebook. You'll see all kinds of stuff because I'm always posting things on Facebook. You can look at my page now and you'll see, oh wow, you'll see my radio show that is on leave now that I haven't done in a while because of the pandemic. But you'll see some of my church services. You'll see me in my robes, not my robe at home, even though I do have a robe that, you know, I don't care. It's got my initials on it and I can wear it. So somebody gave it to us as a present. Yeah, yeah, looking for the dog pics. Yeah, you go in there right away and you'll see Milky Way. His name is Milky Way, just like the thing in the air. So, all right, take care. See you down the road. Night.